I never planned to be the other woman. It just happened. At least, that's what I told myself in the beginning. His name was Daniel, and he was everything I thought I wanted: charming, successful, and devastatingly handsome. The only problem? He was married. But that didn't stop him from pursuing me. At first, I rejected him. I wasn't that kind of woman. But Daniel was relentless. He found excuses to be around me, always making me feel special. He sent flowers to my office, texted me good morning and good night, and listened to me in ways most men never did. And he always had the same sad story. His wife didn't love him anymore. Their marriage was dead. She was cold, distant, and only staying for the kid. I knew I should have walked away, but instead, I fell. For a year, I was his secret. And I told myself, if he really loved her, he wouldn't be here with me. Then everything changed. His wife found out. One night, my phone rang. I didn't recognize the number, but I answered. "Do you know who this is?" a voice asked, cold and calm. I hesitated. "Number, it's Daniel's wife." My heart pounded. "You can save your excuses." She cut me off. "I know everything. And if you think you've won, think again. He does this all the time. You're not special. You're just the latest one." I was speechless. Daniel had never mentioned other women. He swore I was different. "He told me you were desperate," she continued, "that you chased him. That was a lie. He had been the one who wouldn't leave me alone. I just wanted you to know," she added, "that you're nothing but a game to him. When he gets bored, he'll move on. Good luck." Then she hung up. I stared at my phone, my mind spinning. Was she telling the truth? Was I really just one of many? I confronted Daniel the next day, and he swore she was lying. He told me she was just bitter, that she'd say anything to make me doubt him, and like a fool, I believed him. Then, he did what I never expected. He left her for me. It was messy. A brutal divorce. Late night fights. Her demanding full custody of their children. But in the end, I won, or so I thought. For a while, things were perfect. Daniel and I moved in together, then got married a year later. I had the life I had always dreamed of until the cracks started to show. Slowly, I began to notice things I had ignored before. The way he always had his phone on silent. how he suddenly had late meetings, how he turned his screen away when I walked by, and then one night I found a message. You were amazing last night. Can't wait to see you again. It felt like a punch to the gut. I confronted him, and at first he denied it, but I had proof texts, emails, even hotel reservations. Finally, he admitted it. It's not what you think, he said. I love you, but what? I snapped. You loved me when you were with her too. And then it hit me. I was her now. The wife. The one being cheated on. I had stolen a man who was never meant to be kept. I could have left. I should have left. But I loved him too much. Instead, I did something worse. I decided to get revenge. If he was going to cheat, so would I. I found someone younger, hotter, and just as dangerous as Daniel. His name was Ryan, and he made me feel alive again, the way Daniel once had. For months, I lived a double life, until one night, Daniel caught me. There was no yelling, no dramatic confrontation. He just smirked and said, "So now you know how it feels." And that was the end. We divorced within a year. And Daniel? He moved on to a woman 10 years younger than me. Looking back, I see the truth. I was never special. I was just another woman in a long line of women who thought they had won. But there are no winners in these games, only fools who believe the lies they tell themselves.
I will be very grateful if you subscribe to our channel.
I thought I had a happy marriage. Sure, my husband Daniel had been married before and had 2 daughters with his ex-wife Lauren, but we had built a good life together. We had a beautiful baby boy, a cozy home, and what I believed was a solid relationship. That belief shattered the day Daniel came home looking pale and shaken. "What's wrong?" I asked, cradling our newborn in my arms. He hesitated before sighing heavily. "Lauren." She answered the door naked. I nearly dropped my son. "What?" Daniel ran a hand through his hair, avoiding my gaze. I went to pick up the girls like usual. When I knocked, she opened the door completely naked, just standing there like it was nothing. I stared at him, waiting for some kind of punchline. "And what did you do?" I grabbed the girls and got them out of there as fast as I could, he said. We went to the park for a few hours. When I took them back, she was still naked. My blood ran cold. What kind of sick game is she playing? "I don't know," he admitted. "I didn't ask. I just got out of there." I was furious. I had never been Lauren's biggest fan, but I never thought she was unstable. Now, I wasn't so sure. Was she trying to seduce him? Was she trying to sabotage our marriage? Was she having some kind of breakdown? The next weekend, Daniel had to pick up the girls again. I was still unsettled, so I decided to go with him. We drove to Lauren's house, and my stomach churned with anticipation. He knocked, and I held my breath. This time, Lauren answered in a silk robe, loosely tied. Her eyes lit up when she saw Daniel, but then she spotted me. Her smirk altered, and she pulled the robe tighter around her body. "Oh," she said flatly, "you brought your wife." I clenched my jaw. "Is that a problem?" She shrugged. "Just unexpected." Then she turned her attention back to Daniel, ignoring me completely. "The girls are in their room. Why don't you come inside?" "Not necessary," Daniel said stiffly. "I'll wait out here." Lauren sighed dramatically and turned back inside the girls. As soon as they appeared, I noticed something odd. They weren't their usual bubbly selves. They looked uncomfortable, almost scared. We took them out for ice cream, and after some coaxing, they finally opened up. "Mommy said Daddy is still in love with her," the older one whispered. "She said they're getting back together," the younger one added. I felt my stomach drop. I turned to Daniel, expecting denial, but his face was full of shock and anger. "She told you that?" he asked. Both girls nodded. That night, I couldn't sleep. My mind was spinning. What was Lauren trying to do? Why was she feeding these lies to her daughter? Was she trying to manipulate Daniel? Or worse, was she right? Did Daniel still have feelings for her? The next day, I decided to confront her myself. I went to her house alone, and she seemed delighted to see me. Well, she said, leaning against the doorframe. "To what do I owe the pleasure?" I got straight to the point. "What are you trying to do?" She played innocent. "I don't know what you mean." I glared at her. "You told your daughters that you and Daniel are getting back together. You answered the door naked twice. You're clearly up to something." Her smirk returned. "And what if I am?" I felt a chill. "You think you can just up our marriage?" "Oh, honey," she cooed. "I don't think. I know." I clenched my fists. "Daniel loves me. We have a family. He's not coming back to you." Lauren chuckled. "You're adorable. You really think you've won?" She leaned in, lowering her voice. "Let me tell you a little secret. Daniel may have married you, but I will always be his first. His first wife, his first love, the mother of his first children. You're just a replacement." I felt like I had been slapped. "That's not true," she shrugged. "Believe what you want, but tell tell me this as he told you everything? Or does he have secrets he doesn't want you to know?